early on about what the responsibility of home ownership is, what the total budget is. There was just too many people that were sold easy mortgages, easy money, and just found themselves really in a bind almost immediately after they bought the home. Problem properties. The problem property task force is a great start in identifying problem landlords and making them accountable. I believe for the first 4 offenses there's a fine, additional 8 actually get to the point where it's actually a police detail required on the property. As president of City Grove, we often dealt with, the one problem property that would actually affect a greater area. So I'm really excited to see the results of the problem property task force. Trash. Early on in City Grove, in the Adams Village area, we were always just battling trash. And I believe the first step might be in recycling water bottles. There's millions of them out there. And I think that might be a good step to establish some of the trash problems. We did early on, before Boston Shines, we got people involved. We got the businesses and the youth involved in the cleanup of Adams Corner, Dorchester Park, and the Ponset River, pulling stuff out of the river. So it's taking pride in your neighborhood, and I think that's a great step for trash. I have 20 years of mediating community development concerns that I've done with Cedar Grove. I'm proud to say that early in the late 80s, early 90s, Dorchester really became the dumping ground for a lot of uses that we didn't want to see. We were beginning to see the face of our neighborhoods changing. Pep Boys wanted to put an 11-bay oil changing facility right in the heart of Adams Corner, where we actually got them dismissed because we were clever enough to figure out that tiny parcel of land where the clock sits in Adams Village is actually technically a park from back in the Civil War. So we were able to negotiate that, use that leverage against them to keep Pep Boys out, and then to get a better use there with Mount Washington Bank, who's been a wonderful community partner. In addition to that, we had a spring clear channel thing, and I was actually able to negotiate a $200,000 community benefit package for the neighborhood.
Foreclosure. Foreclosure, I think we have to work, one, with the lenders. We have to work with a lot of the first-time home buyers to be aware of things that they might get talked into when they're going to buy their first home. And then at the same time, we have, the economy is so bad, we have people that have been in their homes, as John said, for 10, 15 years and so on. And now the struggle is hard to keep the mortgage going, but the lenders don't want to work with them. They don't want to give a little bit to give them the ability to keep up with their mortgage. So we have to focus on that. We had some legislation that was passed on the Hill, first with Senator Wilkerson's office, where it was able to help the tenants stay in the homes when the homes are foreclosed on and give the tenants the ability to try to purchase that from the lender. Then last year we had the second foreclosure assistance that was there that gave the 180 days, as Stephanie stated. So we're working on foreclosure. We just have to continue, especially at the municipal level, trying to support. Problem properties. Again, Boston City Council and Rep. Enriquez, I have to give them props because they've been working hard in a lot of the areas of Dorchester with problem properties. One of the things I realized, and where I live in the Cotton Hill area, we don't have too many empty homes, but we have a lot of landlords that don't live in our area. And it's hard to find who the landlord is. So why can't we ask them to put placards up like we do for the big property owners? If you own a 3-decker, you should be able to put a sign outside that the abutters can tell who owns it. Not everybody is like us that knows to log on to cityofboston.gov and go to the assessor's website or Suffolk Deeds and look up who the owner is that way. So we should be able to have them post who they are, so we'd be able to have contact with them when something's happening in their property, if trash is being left out and so on. Again, trash is, that's my issue. My neighbors talk about me, I'm outside sweeping. So now I have most of them coming outside sweeping. I have a trash barrel against my light pole, and I put a couple next door at my other neighbor's house, because we pick up our trash when it blows. So when we have trash that's dropped, we're gonna pick it up. So we help as much as we can when the street sweep's not there. We have Boston Shines, we have clean streets. We have it once in the spring and once in the fall. Why is that? Why can't we push that in all of the parts of the district throughout the year? Help you keep your, street clean. street pride, community pride. One of the things though is our new trash that we have. Where I live at, my trash used to come at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now it comes at 3 in the afternoon. So now the wind is blowing it out. The young kids have knocked it over. The dogs that are straying the community. So we need to work on that. Especially one time I saw him dump trash and it fell out. He didn't bend down and pick it up, but he had a brush and a shovel on his truck. He just left it there and went on. So we need to focus on that too. You got the contract, you should work with us. Development in the community and community benefits packages. Those are wonderful if we keep to them, if we monitor them and make sure they follow through. But a lot of times we have developers that come in and a lot of the community doesn't know that it's happening. They don't get to go to the meetings, they're not part of the process, and they slide through. And then after they've developed, we're like, wow, where did they come from? I can talk about that. They have this huge monstrosity of a pole by the fire station on Morton and Gallivan. And I woke up one morning and I saw this chrome thing out my window. And I live up on the hill. So I walked down to the fire station and I said, where did that come from? And they were like, oh, we did this process 2 years ago. But nobody knew about it. So we have to be able to be informed. We should be able to have some alerts on what's happening in our community so we be involved with the process. And I think that would be a good thing. We'd be able to have community benefits added in. Thank you.
So foreclosures, we all lose when there's a foreclosure. We lose, the person who loses the house puts all that money into it, the time, development of themselves. The bank loses the money, so obviously that's going to hurt somebody somewhere. The community, though, hurts because we have empty buildings. We have areas that go unsold. We have residences that are empty and not taken care of, and it makes the rest of our community look that much worse. What we need to do, as I'm sure everybody has said here, we need to educate, but we also have to work to bring the jobs back to Dorchester and to Boston. We need to put people to work. If you can't make your mortgage payment, no matter how much you refinance or fix your mortgage, you still don't have any money. You can't pay. So it's not, you know, that's where the big problem is. So that's where I think we have to work big time, is bringing the jobs back. Problem properties, sure. I've known in my time here of a couple of problem properties around my neighborhood, and I've also been the victim somewhat of one myself. It's problematic when our landlords leave buildings not fixed. There's a lot of those. There's also tenants who destroy buildings. I've been a victim of both. My wife has, we all have in our building. The problem being is we don't have enough homeowners that are, we have a lot of homeowners that are living outside of Boston, living as absentee landlords, and we're not enforcing it. The only thing we can do is maybe go to the city and try to enforce it that way. It's a long process, and the landlords, on the same hand, it's a long process for them. My wife over the winter dislocated me because my landlords wouldn't fix a porch that we've been asking them to fix for 5 years. 5 years, people. I went to a lot of people and asked how we could fix it, and then it doesn't get done fast enough. We need to work on that.
Say something about trash.
Trash, I hate it. No, trash. I think that the street sweepers, and I don't know how many of you agree with me, but they're a waste of time and money. They don't do anything. They push trash around. They don't pick it up. It does not work. I watched one go down my street yesterday and a couple of days ago, and it pushed all of the trash everywhere. It was in a different spot. It looked kind of clean for about 30 seconds, but it didn't look clean after that point. We need to take it upon ourselves. There is some self-reliance here that we have to go by. We have to watch our neighbors and see if they're taking care of their lawn and their properties. But at the same time, we need to work on the city's equipment that does this kind of job out there. We need to buy better equipment that can do this faster and in a better state of affairs.
The last is on
Development. I think when anybody comes into the neighborhood, business or resident, there's a trust. You give, you take. You give, you take. It's called a good neighborhood. I think that we have a lot of businesses that come in that can offer a lot of